Hello everyone, my name is Cable, and today I'm bringing you something a bit new. This is a live commentary on Halo Reach. I'm going to be talking about my feelings about the port in general, the overall state of competitive play, and what I think you should do if you are a sort of hardcore shooter fan or a hardcore Halo fan. This is actually my fourth time trying to record this video. Every other time the game has crashed mid-match on me, which is the first sign of things to come. The first thing to say about Halo Reach on PC is that while it's incredibly cool that we finally get a fully fledged Halo game on PC in HD in 2019, the port's kind of bad, and I don't know how much of it is actually the fault of the port itself or just Halo Reach being a bit of a buggy mess. Obviously this game was not well regarded when it was out the first time, but a lot of these problems seem totally avoidable. They seem like port problems. And a lot of these problems kind of stem down to missing features that PC players have come to expect from their games. Things like customizable graphics settings, frame rate limiters at customizable frame rates, even just accessibility settings, colorblind settings. All of those things are missing from this game. Right now, there are frame rate limiters, and by that I mean there is one frame rate limiter. You can limit at, sorry while I aim that shot, you can limit at 60 FPS, which is fine for console players. Consoles don't really go past 60 FPS, they're all HDMI based, but on PC, high refresh rates are common, and for hardcore first-person shooter players, that's really the norm. I, for instance, am playing right now on a 144Hz monitor, and while I'd love to play at an unlimited frame rate, I actually don't get 144 FPS in this game, especially not while recording. And that's something that the game really struggles with. Having an ability to lock my frame rate at maybe 100 FPS or 120 FPS, somewhere in that lower range but still at a high frame rate, would be incredibly appreciated. But that's not available at this point. There is a field of view slider, if you couldn't already tell. This is much wider than the default Halo field of view. But there's no view model slider. So you'll see my gun model is gigantic in the corner. It takes up so much real estate on the screen, and that's not information that I need to know about. Some guns have the ammo count listed on there, but I'd much rather see the actual field of play than a number telling me how much ammo that I have in size 90 font. Like you can see right there, it tells me that I have 15 bullets left. That's cool. I'd rather know who's standing behind my gun. And these might sound like minor nitpicks. Obviously the game not running at 144 Hz, the game wasn't designed to in the first place. But honestly, it's 2019. Games need to come with this as a standard feature. Beyond all of those issues though, the biggest problem that I've seen for streamers is that the game exposes your IP address. Regardless of what you do, if you don't change any of the settings, by default your IP address is made public to whoever's hosting the game, which could be any of the other players in your lobby. That's right, this game is still peer-to-peer in 2019. And why is that a problem? Well, if you're a streamer and you advertise your streaming, for instance, you have it as your gamer tag, or you have it in your clan tag, and people now have your IP address, they're packet sniffing, things like that. You can get DDoS, you can have your information leaked, your IP address may dox you, things like that. It's, just unacceptable in 2019 to really have a feature like that. And they do have a feature called relays that will allow you to mask your IP, but this comes with an added kind of detraction that you'll end up losing some latency. I stuck that guy. Don't know why it did not count as a stick. You'll get some added latency on top of what you already have to the other players. So I think that about covers it on the technical side. Obviously I have the crashing issue. I didn't used to before today. I don't think there's been a patch. But if there has, I will update that in the comments talking about that. But yeah, it's a bit of an issue. Now moving on from the technical qualities of the port, let's just talk about the matchmaking system and the multiplayer modes. So right now, for ranked modes, which is what I focus on primarily, there are only two modes. There's Team Invasion, which is the 6-on-6 kind of casual game mode, the squad-based shooter, lots of vehicles involved. It's an interesting game mode. It's not particularly competitive. I have pretty much avoided it since the very beginning. It still has armor abilities, it still has AR starts, and it's a mess. It is not a competitive game mode, but it's one of the 2 playlists they decided needed a ranked queue. The other mode is this one that I'm currently playing, Team Hardcore, which is cool, but again, it's a bit lacking. Team Hardcore actually only features 7 different maps, 3 of which are remakes, 3 of which are original maps from Halo Reach, and 1 of which is the Forge original map, this one that I'm playing on Nexus, which is quite honestly one of the worst maps in a Halo game to date. It is just not fun to play on. On these 7 maps, you only have 3 different game modes. You have King of the Hill, which is what I'm playing right now, stand in the hill to accrue points, 250 points or 250 seconds to win. Capture the flag, which can either be 3 or 5 captures, depending on what map you're on. And Team Slayer, which is a race to 50 kills. And that's not to say that these modes aren't iconic. These are some of the classic game modes from Halo, and obviously people enjoy them, but I'd like to see more variety. A lot of other games have featured Oddball, which is a fun carry the ball, walk around, protect your carrier kind of game mode. We've seen things like Assault, where there's a single bomb in the middle of the map and one team has to go and plant it in the other team's base. Sort of the inverse capture the flag. None of these modes are present in the Hardcore playlist. And beyond that, there are some major issues with these maps. For instance, this one, Nexus, is only available in 1 game mode. You can only play it in King of the Hill. It is not available in any other game mode, and I can see why. This map is clearly designed for King of the Hill. But that being said, it's not very much fun on King of the Hill. Honestly, this map kind of turns into a clusterfuck. Left, right, and center, you're just pelted with grenades on every point. There are massive sight lines from end to end of the map. It's a bit of a mess, but that being said, while I think it's one of the worst maps in this game, it doesn't have some of the glaring issues that the built-in maps do. Maps like Countdown, Penance, Zealot all have spawns where you immediately start shooting at the other team. The correct strategy isn't to think about what you're doing, it's just hold down left click and hope that you are one of the people who's aimed directly at an enemy. I don't know if that caught on my recording equipment, but I just had a massive frame stutter. Not fun. So those maps start in the worst way possible, with just an all-out gun brawl from spawn to spawn, and going off on a slight other tangent. When you start the competitive playlist in this mode, you don't actually have to accept the queue after your first round. It'll just automatically dump you back in queue. If you finish a game and forget that it does that, you just, oh, I finished a game, let me go, walk my dog, let me go grab something to drink. You might just get thrown into a game, be completely AFK, and you have nothing you can do about it. And you'll get punished for it. This game has a very punishing system for AFK and leaving players. You'll generally lose a full true skill rank, which actually has happened to me a couple times now after some of these games where I have crashed. It's very unfortunate, but I do appreciate it existing. I'm fucking bad. But anyway, aside from that, Reach is just one of the less compelling competitive games in the series. It's the game that actually killed Halo esports in the first place. Halo used to be one of the, if not the largest esport in the US, until Reach. Halo 3 was selling out arenas for people to watch. There were events pretty much in my hometown every year. And then Reach came along, and all of a sudden the hundreds of thousands of dollars in prize money were no longer a thing, The game just died out. And a lot of it comes down to just how unfun the competitive game modes were in this. So, you might be wondering what I think in terms of, is the Master Chief Collection worth it? And I should preface this by saying I am a very biased person. I've played 15,000 or so rounds of Halo in my life, which is more than any one person should play. That's from Halo 2 onwards across a couple different Xbox Live accounts. That being said, I think the Master Chief Collection is still a good purchase. I think Halo Reach has some issues. It has growing pains. This is the first time 343's tried to port their games to PC, and these games were, again, not designed for it. Obviously, a lot of the problems stem from the engines they're using. There are 11 in the game. But I think Reach is a good starting point. They've shown that they can get the game running on PC, that it is functional to an extent, and that you can go in, jump into a game, play, and you'll have crossplay. You can play with people on controller. controller gameplay on PC actually works fine. If you're a console player, just pick it up just to have it so you can play with your friends. And if you're a mouse and keyboard player, it works fine. A lot of the weapons feel a bit weird on PC. For instance, the DMR without the auto-aim of console can be very finicky. But I think overall, it's a good starting point. Now, that being said, do I think you should just go out and buy just Halo Reach on its own? No. If you're going to buy the Master Chief Collection, buy the full collection. I think that it's 100% worth it to buy, every game in the series. I think that the later ones are going to be much better. Halo 2, Halo CE, Halo 3 have all been ported to PC before with great results. But that being said, my final thoughts as this game starts to wind down, I think that the Master Chief Collection on PC is going to be a great investment. I think that right now, the game needs a bit of work. Starting with Halo Reach was actually a pretty good strategy because no one really cares about Reach in the long run. It's not anyone's favorite game in the series, really. So, making some mistakes with this one, having some missteps, and having some areas for improvement, getting feedback from the community was a great decision, I think. Now, it's just a matter of ending this game because I tried to segue that into the game conclusion, but we ended up just not winning the game. We just need 2 seconds. 2 seconds. And there we go. So thank you guys for watching. This is a bit more of a rant style video than what I normally do, but if you enjoyed it and want to see more content like this, please tell me below in the comments. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. You know the drill. Thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate your support, and I'm sorry that I haven't been posting much recently, but hopefully in the coming weeks, coming months, I'll be much, much better about doing that. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next time.